it worked for me because I've never been incarcerated since.
Curtis went back to dealing, but he knew his luck would run out eventually.
Everybody hustling thinks they're better than the last guy that did it. Somehow or another, they feel like they're going to stop right before Scarface gets shot. You know what I mean? And it just doesn't work that way.
It was time for a radical change of plans. Inspired by rappers who turned their gritty street stories into cold, hard cash, Curtis came up with a new hustle.
I decided I was going to write music for a living.
He told me that his probation officer had suggested that he goes into rapping.
1, 2, 3, and here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Then one day in 1996, he had a chance meeting with Run DMC's Jam Master Jay at a Manhattan nightclub.
I kind of hustled my way into a situation with Jay. I didn't have nothing. I went straight into talking to him like I knew how to do it.
I think it was the way 50 approached him. He just liked the way he said he's going to be big.
And he was like, all right, well, stop by and hear what you got.
Curtis recorded a rough demo track for Jay.
It just went on and on and on. So he was like, yo, what's the hook?
What Jay heard was raw, but very real. Seeing potential, he signed Curtis to his label. And just like that, the 21-year-old crack dealer had a new calling.
He told me he was working with a famous rapper. I said, you sure that's what you want to be? So he said, yes.
Coming up, 50 Cent goes on the attack.
Say it now and never again. We ain't buddies, we ain't partners, and we damn sure ain't friends.
And pays a heavy price.
You don't know if you're actually going to survive it or not.
50 Cent, that's my name.
And later, he blows away a hip-hop icon.
It was like, yo, this 50, I quit. I literally wanted to quit rapping at that point.
When Behind the Music continues. By 1996, Curtis Jackson had transformed himself from a streetwise drug dealer to budding rapper after being signed by Run DMC's Jam Master Jay. To complete his evolution, he created a new identity, taking the name of a well-known Brooklyn stick-up artist, 50 Cent.
For me, 50 Cent was a metaphor for change. And then I would do things my way, which would be drastically different.
An even bigger change came a year later. When Curtis was just 22, he and his girlfriend, Shaniqua Tompkins, had a baby boy, Marquise.
He got more serious about life, and he knew he had to take care of his son.
I wanted to have the relationship that I didn't have with my father, with my son. I didn't believe anyone would take care of him if I wasn't there to take care of him.
50 gave up dealing drugs and sold off everything he had to support his family. He pinned his hopes on music, learning from Jam Master Jay.
50 would not want to leave the studio. Dude was just soaking everything in. He would just stay focused over in the corner, right.
2 years passed, progress was slow, and 50 was frustrated that he didn't have Jay's undivided attention. So when he saw record executive Corey Rooney outside a barbershop in Queens, he seized the opportunity.
He comes over to the car, he had like his hood on, and looked sketchy. At that point, I didn't know he was gonna rob me.
I gave him my tape and put it in, playing it, and the phone rung and he was on the telephone.
I'm like, yeah, go ahead. And he gave me the look because I wasn't paying attention.
I give my tape, man. Mad old school. He looked at me like, what's the matter with him?
He doesn't realize I can multitask, so I heard everything he did. This was far beyond, oh, this guy is good. I thought, wow, this is the next Jay-Z.
50 was signed to Columbia Records, but most of his advance went to pay his way out of the Jay contract. Broke, he returned to dealing.
I had $5,000. And then the baby. So I had to take care of him. I just bought 250 grams with it. I went back to doing what I knew how to do.
50 took only 2 weeks to record his debut, but the label let it languish for 2 years. In 1999, he channeled his frustration into a lyrical assault on the biz.
And yo, the bottom line is, I'm a crook with a deal. If my record don't sell, I'm a rob and steal.
A track about mugging music stars called How to Rob.
I rob home without a gun, snatch his piece and run. Just kid weigh 400 pounds, I ain't gonna catch me, son.
What do you have out right now?
I got a new single out called How to Rob.
I'm about to stick Bobby for some of that Whitney money.
I wrote the lyrics in like 45 minutes.
That's from your heart, that's how you feel?
Yeah, it's a little it's like comedy based on reality.
Your beeper going off.
He was like, all right, this industry is not letting me eat, they're not letting me in. All right, I'm gonna rob everybody in this industry and let you know I'm coming.
What you get just sold, like 4 million, got something to live for.
When I heard the record, I was like, wow, this guy's gonna make a lot of enemies. This guy's crazy.
The single was a sensation. DMX, Big Pun, the Wu-Tang Clan, and Jay-Z all fired back.
Go against Jigga, your ass is dense. I'm about $1, what the fuck is 50 cents?
That right there, that's when everybody's like, all right, Jay just said his name,
50 cents.
he's official.
50 Cent was making enemies, but none bigger than fellow Queens rapper Ja Rule.
One of my homies robbed Ja for his chain. His energy shift towards me, and we ain't never been cool since.
Fifth was the street dude, he wasn't. And Fifth was like, all right, I'm gonna get this little punk.
Nobody likes me.
Their animosity intensified when 50 Cent put the feud on record with Your Life's on the Line.
I'ma say this now and never again. We ain't buddies, we ain't partners, and we damn sure ain't friends. The games you playing, you get rich like that.
The ill will boiled over into a brawl in Atlanta.
So we get face to face and we talk.
50 just punches him in his eye.
Boom! I caught him back. And now the fight ensued. We throwing down. That's when the real beef started. Because now it's a physical.
See me when you see me. One.
At that point, I believe is when Ja started to be sitting down like a woman instead of being a man.
The violence escalated in March 2000 when Ja Rule's crew paid a visit to 50 at the Hit Factory recording studio in Manhattan. This time, someone pulled a knife.
We had a knock on the door. They cut the lights off. They ran in swinging these, steak knives.
I seen 50 pick up one of the speakers. Boom, hit one of them guys. Blood everywhere.
And they cut 50.
They called it a stabbing, and it sounded more graphic than it actually was.
See, this is what they did to me, little boo-boo. It wasn't too bad.
I had 3 stitches. I got worse riding my pedal pipe.
50's rep as rap's new bad boy was growing.
But that actual altercation, it started to spiral out of control.
People were coming after him because they felt he was such a threat. It got ugly.
He didn't know who to trust. They put the money on his head. He didn't know what was next, and you didn't know who would do it. And that's when everybody started getting scared.
May 24th, 2000. Something finally caught up with 50 outside his grandmother's house in Queens.
She was going out the door, in which I went out behind him.
My son was in the house, and my grandmother was in the front yard.
I stopped to weed the flowers.
50 got into the back seat of a friend's car. Another car pulled up beside them.
It happened that fast.
I hear something shooting like firecrackers. I thought it was kids. I was going to yell at them. But when I see this guy pointing in the car, and I says, oh, that's the car my grandson got in.
50 reached for his gun, but it wasn't cocked.
When I put the gun out the actual window, he shot down at my hand and moved away. So I got hit my thumb and came out the top of my pinky. That's why I ain't got no knuckle on my right hand.
He was also hit in his face, his legs, 9 bullets in all. Fired at close range.
I can't give you the movie moment because I didn't look down the barrel of the gun.
And then I started yelling. Then they won.
Blood gushed all over the back seat as the friend sped toward a hospital, stopping only to dump 50's gun in a sewer.
I kept saying, oh, you shot me in my face, huh? Look in the mirror in the middle of the car.
50 was rushed into surgery.
You don't know if you're actually going to survive it or not.
I get that call. Told me 50 got shot. So I run to his block. And then I just see shells all over. They had homicide police. I thought he was dead.
Coming up, 50 faces his darkest hour.
At one point in the hospital room, he lifted his hand and went like this.
It kind of made you feel like the only thing